Hey, everybody, it's time for another edition of Hump Day Highlight. We have got a very special guest, special to me because he's my boss. Please welcome Rob Parker, who is chairman of the board for the Fayette Chamber of Commerce. Rob, welcome to Hump Day Highlight.
Oh, it's great to be with you.
Well, that's fantastic. You've had an interesting year as board chair, but I think things are going pretty well. How about you?
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting times, obviously, for the country, for our county, for our state. We really have moved through from, I think, surviving to figuring out what thriving looks like in this kind of, I was going to say post-COVID world. We're still in the middle of it, but what does life look like? I couldn't be more excited though about Fayette County, our businesses, how they've survived during this time period, how so many are thriving and how our people are stepping up. So as the board chair, it's been an interesting and weird experience this year. But Colin, I want to thank you and your team for your leadership with the chamber, keeping our eye on the ball to support local businesses, and just excited about even with all that's going on, excited about what the world holds for us this next year.
Well, thank you for saying that, and it has been an interesting year. However, I will say Pinewood Forest does not look like it has missed a beat. Y'all are really busy out there.
Well, I'm sitting, we're obviously under construction, and that's probably demonstrated by the space I'm in right now, which is a new office building that is in the middle of being built out. And I've got a couple of floors. We've got a couple of floors that are already rented out, and this one hasn't been built out yet. So I snuck into this space, but construction was deemed an essential service during COVID. And so we haven't missed a single day since this thing started. The town continues to come out of the ground. Our first restaurant is open. I know I've seen you over there, Colin, at Hop City Barleygarden, and they just opened up for lunch on Tuesday. They've had a remarkable run already in the first couple of months, and so we're excited about that. We've sold 150 homes, which is really exciting, and our first 300 apartments are opening up at about 20 or 30 every couple of weeks, and they're all full with a waiting list. And Colin, I know that's personal for you too, because I know you're going to be in here in the next month or so, living here at Pinewood Forest. It's just a really special place despite the challenging times.
Well, just so you know, I brought the family there Friday night, my wife and daughter and her fiance. We had dinner at Barleygarden, and took a little walk around and enjoyed that a lot. So I can't wait to get out there. I'm excited about it. So you actually have a couple of connections to Fayette County. Obviously, Pinewood Forest, where you are now, but you were a little bit involved in Camp Southern Ground. Tell us about that.
Well, my involvement on the South Side really started with us raising money to build Camp Southern Ground for Zach Brown, his legacy project, his passion to provide a camp for kids with autism, ADD, ADHD, special needs, and for the typical child, and kind of blending those two together. So on 400 acres here in Fayette County, about 10 miles from where we sit right now here at Pinewood Forest. A very exciting project that started out as Camp Southern Ground, Colin, but as you know, ultimately took over as CEO of all of Southern Ground and the businesses, the music, the touring, the studios, and supporting Zach's vision to build a brand around Southern Ground. And so really, that was my introduction to Fayette County. And we moved our family here, my kids and grandkids, and are deeply involved now. Joined the chamber, got involved. And so we've only been here for 5 years, going on 6 years, but we have loved every minute of it. I'll be honest with you, it was a secret to me that there was this amazing pocket of people and beauty and talent on this side of the airport, if you will. And when you come from the north side of Atlanta, which we spent 20 years there, you just don't know what's here. And so we couldn't be happier to be here in Fayette County and excited about that. So yeah, time with Zach Brown and the Zach Brown Band and that Southern Ground was a real blessing for us.
Well, you certainly had between Camp Southern Ground or the Southern Ground whole thing and Pinewood Forest, you certainly had an impact on Fayette County in a short amount of time. So thank you for all you've done there. So as we wrap up here, we always talk about the three H's: a hero, a highlight, and what you're hopeful about in the future. So let's talk first about your hero. Who's somebody you really look up to?
Yeah, it's challenging when you talk about heroes, because so much of we're actually in a superhero environment here with the studio, where we're telling stories on a really big stage about superheroes. None of my heroes wear tights or fly or have any superpowers like that. I think for me, I would say my two fathers, and when I say my two fathers, my father and then my father-in-law, who I met my future wife when she was 15 and I was 16, and her father became just such an important part of my life. I would say I look up to those men who are men of faith, who are men of courage, who make bold decisions, but take care of their family and are regular guys, approachable as well. I would say there are a few other mentors that I've got like that. They're the heroes in my life. None of them, again, are superstars. But they are supermen in terms of how they love and treat people, how they have encouraged me to develop as a person, a man, and as a leader. And so I would offer my father and my father-in-law as my two heroes.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about a highlight. You've had a pretty successful and far-reaching career. Tell us about one highlight from your career you're particularly proud of.
Well, because you know about Pinewood Forest and about the Zach Brown Band and the work we did here, I think what I'll highlight is I spent 20 years with Boys and Girls Clubs of America, where we were investing in young people in the toughest environments, probably the 50 million or so kids that live at or below the poverty level from homes, and getting those young people out of public housing. If I were to tell you stories that were highlights for my career, they would center around the young people that have gone on to become great young men and women who are fathers and responsible, productive, caring citizens. I think when I think about that on a large scale, I don't know if you remember back when the internet first really became a big deal, we were very concerned that the whole population was going to be left out. There was going to be a digital divide, and that our kids of color and our kids from our tough circumstances were going to be left out. And Boys and Girls Clubs of America, we set out to make sure that didn't happen for the kids that we were responsible for. And so we built 2,500 technology centers around the country. And I got a chance to lead and engage with the funding of that project and working with, nobody does that by themselves. We had amazing partners. But the thing I look back on with real pride is at a time when there could have been a huge gap, we bridged that digital divide with friends like Microsoft, with the federal government, with Toshiba, and a few others that stepped up. So I would say doing 2,500 technology centers in the toughest neighborhoods and in public housing is something I look back on as a real highlight.
Well, as you should. So tell us about what you're hopeful about in the future.
I think at a time when we're so, we're challenged, I remain very hopeful that we will reconnect with the things that really matter. There's so many things that have gone out of our lives in the last 6 months that I think, quite frankly, not all of them need to come back in. I have a lot fewer relationships, but they're deeper. The circles that I'm engaging with, I watch a lot less television and do a lot less peripheral things. We're focused, our family, really on human connection and interaction. I'm hopeful that plays out for us. I'm looking forward to being able to get back to some of the things that we used to do. But if the end result of this is that we're more connected, that we're more connected to what matters and what's important, I'm hopeful that we can get past some of the divisions that we have right now in our country and in our community and start to come together. I am seeing hopeful signs of that. There are bridges being built. So I'm a pretty positive person in general, but I'm hopeful that we'll have a better world as we come out of this. Colin, I would just share with you that it's part of what we're trying to do at Pinewood Forest, as you know, because you've been following it, trying to create a more connected community where people can thrive and flourish because they're loved and served in a different way. And that also gives me hope as I see it come to life here. I think there's a way for us to do that on a bigger scale.
Well, that's an outstanding vision. I hope you're right about that. Well, Rob, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for everything you're doing in Fayette County. Thanks for your leadership at the chamber. And we just look forward to all the great things that are going to continue to happen here. So
guys, come out and visit us at Hop City and have a beer and overlook the Central Plaza. Come buy a house, come hang out here, but not, even if you can't do that, just participate in the community, support our businesses, get out and make sure that this continues to thrive and flourish as a community. Thanks, Colin, again for your support.
Well, folks, that wraps up this edition of Hump Day Highlight. We will see you next Wednesday with another Hump Day Highlight.